Willow Creek Springs presents Healthy Living with your host, Joe Grumbine.
Well, hello and welcome to the Healthy Living Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Grumbine, and today we have a very special guest. Her name is Bron Watson, and she's a two-time cancer survivor, an international speaker, and founder of the Serenity Project. After navigating two cancer diagnoses while keeping her business alive, now she helps women build resilience that bends without breaking, challenging toxic hustle culture with evidence-based, compassion-led strategy. Now, there's a lot going on in those couple
It's
sentences.
a lot.
And I'm also a cancer survivor. So about a year ago or so, I was diagnosed, and I'm just coming out the other side of it. So I admire your resilience, and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Joe. It's great to be here.
Well, I would love to just let you jump on into it. Why don't you rewind a little bit and tell us a little bit about your experience that kind of gave you this resilience that you now help other people get?
Well, great question. So basically, I've had a dual career for over 30 years. So I'm a nurse-educator in my previous life, taught at university and all sorts of different other places. And back in 2012, I started my own business. So I've had a dual career in marketing as well. So it was sort of this random thing, and I never really knew why I was doing all these things. And in 2017, that's when I had my first diagnosis, Joe, of breast cancer. And I was running an online business and had a lot of clients and was very busy. And for me, I can only talk for me when I'm talking cancer or when I'm talking any resilience, I talk for me. And then what I love is to create the awareness for someone to go, hey, maybe I could think about that too. So I'm not here to tell people what to do. I'm just going to share a little bit about that. So we're back in 2017. I've got 5 kids running this business, and I'd had my second round of chemo. I was bald as bald. And I was standing there 4 hours after that chemo on a live to my clients, all right? Because I'd had this
exactly
belief,
what you're talking about.
and I'm going, it's just like, what the heck am I doing? And I had this epiphany, basically, which is I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. And because I was walking around, and I caught a glimpse, and I looked at myself and I went, do you want to die?
Mm-hmm.
And because if you don't stop what you're doing, you're going to die, Bron. I was 48 years old. My youngest was, 7 or 8.
Wow.
He was 8. He was 8. So I've got, 5 kids, 5 boys actually. And I'm looking there and I went, right, that's it. So I cut my business in half. I cut all the mentoring out and I just stuck to my basics, which was marketing.
Okay.
Run a social media marketing agency. Anyway, doing all the work, doing the things. Here I am thinking, I've changed the way I lived. I changed the way I feel about myself, my body. And then on the 23rd of February, 2023, I get a second diagnosis. This one, not so good because it's an incurable blood cancer this time. And literally as I'm going through the 5-year, in Australia, at the 5-year mark for a curable cancer, you go through all the rounds of seeing the various doctors and things like that. And they go, great, you're cured.
Yeah, right.
So at my cured stage of breast cancer, I get slapped with this multiple myeloma, which is a blood cancer. All right. And that brought me to my knees. Because here I am, again, I'm at a really good space in life with my family, my children, the business is doing really, really well. I'm feeling 2023 was going to be a great year. Well, that's what I thought. And it was a great year because it taught me so many other things, Joe. All right, just so you know, it was so, can I swear? It was shit, Joe. So I called it the shit show 2.0. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. my dog started yapping. Yeah.
Oh, that's all
You
right.
can say as you need to. This is a
Well,
podcast.
I called it the shit show 2.0,
Yeah.
right? So here I am. I'm now in the shit show 2.0, and
Wow.
I'm facing a marathon. The oncologist said, Bron, you're in a marathon this time. And I went, and I couldn't, being that remember, I'm a nurse educator. I know how this stuff works. I know how the system is meant to work. And I'm sitting here again going, how is this even possible? So rather than look at what has gone wrong, what has, why me? I
Right.
went down a path of looking for serenity. Now, I use the very old-fashioned Serenity prayer, which has been around nearly 100 years for AA, NA, you
No,
name
it's a
it.
good
God
though.
grant
Yeah.
me. So God, insert your God, insert whoever you believe
Sure.
in, universe, spirit, Dennis, whoever. That's what I always say.
Mhm.
Dennis, grant me serenity to accept what I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Right.
And I have been working on this for myself for nearly 3 years, because we're coming up 3 years in February. I actually wrote, interestingly enough, a chapter of the book back in 2016, but I didn't know what I was writing it for. And it's like, hello, here we are. So where this has all ended up is I'm demonstrating. I demonstrate, and as I said, I create awareness. If someone wants to, if it resonates with someone, great. If it doesn't, well, that's okay too. Around working on your own serenity. I call them serenity moments, because we can't just sit here and meditate all day. And I believe in all the things. Like you talk about gratitude, Joe, 100% gratitude.
Hmm.
Gratitude no matter what.
Right. And that's the thing that, like, when you understand gratitude, it, it it's a choice. And
Yes,
you decide where you want to spend your attention and when you're focused. There's always good and bad around everything. And even in a cancer diagnosis, well, you're still alive to fight the battle. You live in a place where they have treatment. Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
there's so many things you could focus on that are good, or you could go the other direction, but it's always your choice. That's where that serenity prayer is so powerful, because always in every situation you have these choices, and you get faced with a difficulty, and you can go crazy. You can start doing things, or you can sit back and say, wow, I need some advice here. I need, and that's where that serenity moment really kicks in, because if you can put yourself in a place where you're calm and you're able to listen and you're able to experience maybe some insight or whatever your
And
intuition.
when you pause in those moments, Joe, when you pause,
Hmm.
what that does is allows your own ability, your own strength, your own intuition, believe in what you will. If
Right.
it's God, you believe that God will talk to you. If you believe in the universe, the higher purpose, when you pause enough,
Hmm.
because that's where that resilience, not relentless and hustle. And I mean, I did all of that stuff and it darn nearly killed me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I'm not saying we don't have space for that. What I'm saying is that when we slow down enough, and when I say slow down, it could be physically, it could be mentally, spiritually,
Right.
when you sit there long enough, and might only be a pause, and that pause allows you to find that serenity moment, because the moments are what makes the memories. And it's, I had this bloody clinical nurse consultant in Australia, and she go to me, oh, Bron, you've got to make memories. And I feel like saying, yeah, you've got to make memories too, Colleen. Everyone's got to make memories, but it's the memories where we go, make every day count. And it's okay. I'll keep chatting while you
No,
talk to the
you're
dog.
doing fine. We got it under control. Yeah.
But
Luckily,
it's about the
tougher on the
moments. And
mute
this is
button, right?
where, if there's one thing I'd love people to think about, and this is where we find the resilience, because it's learnt, guys. We can learn this stuff. Doesn't matter where you want to go to learn it. But when we learn, and we listen to your podcast, Joe, when we're looking and hearing some people that you've had on, when
Hmm.
you bring those in, those moments, and you start joining moments together. Like I am now in a place, and I go to the doctor every month. I get blood tests done every month, and remembering with blood cancer, they're
Right.
looking for nasties, and I'm in remission, but it took a while to get in remission.
Yeah.
If I listen to the experts, oh, Bron, it's only a matter of time. We've got to make the memories now because you won't be doing these things very soon. It's like, well, thank you so much. Technology is changing too, and you haven't taken me into consideration. Am I
Right.
talking about living to 80? No. What I'm talking about is enjoying every moment that I have while I have it and having the gratitude around being able to make a choice that is right for me. That's where resilience comes in, when you start doing that. Even though it doesn't mean I don't have times of tension and scared and tears and, put me in, while I wait in that waiting room every month. Oh, my
Yeah.
Lord. It's a mind game and I'm getting better at it. But it doesn't mean, and this is the thing, you can put this in business, you can put it in life, you can put it in whatever adversity, because everyone's going to have an adversity of some choice, of not a choice, of some thing,
Right. We're always going to find a challenge no matter what. Yeah.
always.
It's the human experience, though. I believe that's, we got put on this planet, this place, this existence, and then we get challenges. That's how we learn and grow. And
We
without,
do.
we would just sit there and, I don't know, probably be the same.
Well, that's the thing. That's exactly the point, Joe, is that you would be the same. And so it's not necessarily, I remember someone texted me after the breast cancer who I hadn't heard from, and she sent me this message to say, Bron, if you don't change the way you live, it's going to come back, don't you?
Yeah. No, I agree 100%.
Agreed, right? Agreed. And I thought I had done that, because the thing is, it's a never-ending journey. That's what
Right.
I've learned, is that you don't, like, I talk about healing. I'd love to lose the word cure. I'd love to say we're all healing. If everyone
Right.
healing, because then everybody has that opportunity to be in that space that is right for them. So that's where this whole Serenity project came about, because it was like, hang on a minute, we can change the way we treat our patients, and we can have, remembering I'm from inside the system and I'm educated in this space, and it's like, well,
Right.
maybe we could change the way we're teaching, or the way and the way we're supporting our patients. And some places are way better than others.
Oh, yeah.
But from my experience, I would love to see more of the inclusivity of all the things that are not medically related coming together. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Oh, absolutely. I'm curious. There's a place in your story where you were working in the medical field for many years and teaching nurses as well. And then there's a place where that fell off. What happened there?
Look, I'm still registered, and I'm
Oh,
still
okay.
actually part of a local university.
All
Since
right.
2023, I haven't done any of that, simply because
Okay.
running my own business and having a family and financially needing, to live as such.
Sure, I get it.
I haven't done a lot in the nursing space, but where this is going with the Serenity Project is actually some research in
Got it.
how there will be a research project in this space. So
Nice. Very.
it's going to be fun. It's just I'm still registered, but I'm not physically in the field. But after 30 years, I think I've done my penance. I think I know how it works.
I would say you put your time in, you got your stripes, right?
I got my stripes. I'm the patient now, and that's the great thing, is that I'm a patient now, and I know what it's like to be on the other side of the bed, and it horrifies me.
Hi, this is Joe Grumbine, and I wanted to share an update. The platform that hosts this podcast has made some changes to the subscriber settings, and we have a number of subscriber-only episodes that we offer to the supporters, and for a minimum of $3 a month, we can get you signed up. And if you're already signed up and you're having some kind of trouble locating these episodes in the other platforms, I would say maybe the best answer is to unsubscribe and then resubscribe. I'm sorry for the hassle. I don't have any way to make a change, but I'm very grateful for all the support. Thank you.
Oh, it's unbelievable, the standard of care and how they go about treating people. I talk all the time about, the patient advocate. You have to learn to care about yourself enough to do what you need, whatever that is, and find those answers. And I think that, these moments of serenity, it's interesting. I have a particular faith that you may or may not know about, but um, it was taught to me that God comes to you as a still small voice.
Yes.
The only way you're going to hear a still small voice is if you shut the heck up and sit still
Ah,
for a minute, right?
yes,
And so that's your serenity
that's my serenity
plays
moment. That's
right
the
on
pause.
into my faith, just like that, because I think that's a big part of it when you go through these things. And if you've been through chemo, you sit in a chair for a long time and you have these bags of poison dripping into you, and you get plenty of time to sit there and be quiet. And
Yes, you do.
and you may or may not feel very well about it, but it gives you a place to, there's nothing else you can do. There's nothing else you need to do. There's nobody going to bother you. You're in a place where you can really reflect and maybe have that serenity. I know I found that, yeah, I did fall asleep off and on, but through it, I found that to be a place of contemplation, a place of just, and the reality of it's all sitting right in front of you.
It is. And I initially, so I would fight myself with the chemo. That was remembering, I'm only talking for me, people.
Sure.
I would fight it because I knew what it was going to do and I knew what side effects were going to come. And I knew that I'd be on medication for the side effects, to be on medication for the side effects, to be on the medication, which was the chemo. I knew that it was just this mess. And I now see these things. I had a stem cell transplant, so I've had a stem cell transplant, and so there was chemo involved with that as well. I would insist on talking to my shitty committee in my head, going, you know what, guys, we got to be grateful here. We got to be grateful for science, because
Right.
if I'm not grateful for science, it's going to make it a lot harder for me. Remembering I'm being a visual and being a learner, an educator for myself, I'm
Sure.
thinking to myself when I'm going, you know what, shitty committee, shut the hell up because you've got it wrong. We know it's toxic, but I'm going to use the word thank you, thank you, thank you to the scientists. Thank
Yeah,
you to those who dedicate their lives to helping people like me to have more time with my family.
sure.
And that's where I had to flip and sort of reframe it. I call it reframing these thoughts, because I actually call them those serenity now moments. I want to flip and reframe the word, but it's a conscious thing. Like you were said right at the beginning, it's a decision. And I made that decision to go, Bron, thank you, but you've actually got it wrong right now. And
Yeah,
and really allow that side of the decision that I made to go down that treatment plan, because of course I get a lot of questions. Oh, you did that, did you? It's like, well,
right.
that was my choice. Thank you for asking. And
Right.
now I have this amazing kit of things that I can do, that
Hmm.
one of them is gratitude. One of them is journaling, as you talk about. Those things, they
Yeah,
are absolutely essential to getting this stuff out so that there's space for the really good stuff to come in, which is what you're talking about with your faith.
I love it. Well, why don't you tell us about the Serenity Project? How did you come to the place where you says, "Hey, I've got a plan to move forward here, and it involves this."
Good. That's a really interesting question. It really evolved because I as you say, when you're in those moments, and I was in hospital for a month with stem cell transplant, and I, in my world, being being that I run a business and I am in marketing, I went, right, we're going to put a name to this and we're going to call it the Serenity Project, which
All
is
right.
I'm the project, by the way.
Yeah. No, I get it. I
I
love
did
it.
it for myself and I went, right,
Yeah.
I'd like to, I've always wanted to write a book. And remember that chapter you wrote back in 2016? I read it again. I'm going, oh my God, how did I miss that this was so important? Because it was around, it was like this person was going to, it was going to go to the Himalayas and go to, what's it called when you go base camp at Mount, in the Himalayas. And it was started with a story how we're all getting on the plane and we've all packed for this summer holiday in Australia. We're going to Hawaii, or we're going to go to Florida, or we're going to go somewhere really lovely and warm. And we get on the plane, they're going, no, guys, we're off to Kathmandu. I went, what? What do you mean I'm going to Kathmandu? I don't have any jackets. I've got thongs. Well, too bad, Bron. You're going to climb to base camp and you have no choice. And we're going because we're already on the way and we're going and you're going to have to make do. So I get there and then I tell this whole chapter about how I'm going and there's adversity and I go on the wrong path and then I find the right guide. So a bit like, this is my brain fog from the chemotherapy. What's the
I
little
get
Yoda?
it.
You know, Yoda, the guide, right here I'm pitching. I got Yoda and Yoda puts me back on the right path.
There you go.
And then finally at the end of the chapter, we arrive at base camp. Some people didn't make it, but everyone that's there we're bedraggled, we're absolutely trashed, but we're there, we made it. And that was where the Serenity Project came from, because that's what happened to me on the 23rd of February 2023 when I was told I had myeloma. Here I am thinking I'm finally free of this world, and no, you're not, Bron. You've got another lesson and you're off to Kathmandu and you're climbing to base camp.
That's wild. It's wild. One of the lessons I've gotten out of this whole experience is that we have the ability to just keep going if we choose to. And no matter how hard it is, you can always take another step. And I think that's a powerful lesson. I call it the human experience of carrying on. You can keep going. So, and you can make it to that base camp or wherever it is you're headed.
It is, and it's I've finally made peace for myself with the fear of the longevity of life, which is very deep and personal, which we don't need to talk about right now. But I've made peace with that because I focus solely on today. We are human beings. We are not human doings. And the being part is we want to
I love
be.
that saying. I have heard motivational speakers talk about that, and all different twists on it. But we are beings, and that's important to remember sometimes.
Very important, because I think when you are, I call it the vortex of fear, when you're caught in the vortex of fear, or which is normal, let's just clarify, completely normal to be in and out of that vortex. I can hop in. I hopped in only the other day. I'm crying and carrying on. Paul goes, what the hell? And he goes, well, And he goes, I said, just give me 5 minutes. I'll be okay. I'll get out. But right now, I know where I am and I know what I need to do. And so when we talk about that, I've lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
Well, we were talking about being.
That's right. So what I find is that a lot of people in business, productivity, life, got a lot of list of things to do. Get up at 5, yoga, meditate, exercise, nutrition. There's a lot of doing, right? You can have a doing list as long as your arm.
Sure.
And my goal with Serenity Project is to create a space for someone to think about for themselves, to be the human being, which is now, which is present. And that's what a serenity moment is, because your serenity is going to be different to mine. And that's great, because that's what it's meant to be. It's not me telling you what to do. I'm just creating. So it's really around when you're in that space, and that's where resilience comes in. That's where we let go of relentlessness, because relentlessness and hustle is all the doing shit, and I can do the shit. Believe me, I built a business with nothing. I can build it,
There's a
right?
place for that sometimes when you need to get something from here to there, but
You
that's
got to do the doing, right? Don't worry about that. But it's about the control. Because when you lose the control, and that's what being means, when you allow yourself to be, you then are quietened down, and then you are able to hear the messages that you are meant to hear, which intuitively you will. I know what, whether it doesn't matter what your faith is, it's they will come. And that is living, my friend.
I love it. So when somebody comes to you, so the Serenity Project is like um, a training program.
I've built a community which is going live shortly, but it's more about being connected. So if people want to hear and want to learn more, you know what? Just hop on the newsletter. Just hop on what we send out, and then if there's a space where you go, you know what? I actually want to be I want to actively be a part. There is a community, but that's really not the focus here, Joe. It's more around learning, or not even learning. It's about connecting with people who may be in alignment with you.
Nice.
We got here randomly in
Right.
some ways. And then when I look
Probably
at your
not so
message,
random, I think.
I agree, right? So your message, my message, 100% in alignment. So it's about, that's the community I talk about. It's the bigger picture here. It's not it's around making sure that the more people have this way of thinking, the more way we can create awareness for people to be aware, we can then start changing the system, because this is bigger than me. It's not about Bron. It's just that I'm the one who happened to be the first person talking about it. It's not new, but I'm pulling together the science and the soul and the evidence and the perspective, which is, there's not a lot of people that have that skill set, but it's more around being a voice for someone who may not have courage or may not have the confidence yet. And that's where Serenity Project comes in. And that's where, just jump on that free newsletter, and then you build your confidence and you go and do whatever you want to do. That's what it's about, and live life the best you can for you, not for what everyone tells you to do, and certainly for not what the system tells you to do. When I say system, I'm talking about the medical system here.
Oh, absolutely. I get it. So how many people and from what regions make this up right now?
All over the world.
Oh, beautiful.
I only launched it in 2025 because obviously I was busy getting myself over the stem cell transplant, but it's just evolved and it'll keep evolving. So it's relatively new, but yes, there are people. And one of the things when people do sign up, they'll find out where are they from, because I want to know where people are from, not for any other reason, to go, you know what, this is the countries that we can reach and where we're making a difference. And that's pretty much where it's at. And, like everything in life, and where my health is and my future is so uncertain, it's not funny.
Of course. I'm right there with you. Absolutely. And so this is a newsletter that
Yes.
people can sign up and become a
Yep.
part of. Do you have a website connected to that?
Yeah. So it's just literally serenityproject.com.au.
Okay. Beautiful.
That's it. Go there and you'll find the information. Connect with me, and if anyone has a question, I've got an ability on the website to, if you can't type, you can talk. You can send a voice message. You can send me a text message via the website, and it's around those questions, because the questions create more questions, which create the awareness.
I love it. So, listen, Bron, this has been an amazing conversation, and I believe that we just opened up a bunch of doors. We didn't really get to the end of anything. And I would certainly love to invite you back anytime that you are able to continue the conversation. Do you think that you have one thought, if you could wrap it all up, to leave our listeners with here?
My one thing that I would suggest, guys, is be where your feet are. Just be where they are, because that means you're present.
I like it. I like it. And so once again, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, learn more about the Serenity Project, or even just have a conversation, how do
Just
they
have a chat. I'm up. I'll talk to anybody, anywhere in the world, because We don't want to be alone in this space.
Absolutely. And once again, how do they reach you?
So if they go to serenityproject.com.au, you'll find me on Bron Watson. You'll find me on both Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Just look for Bron Watson, and that's me. Happy to chat.
Beautiful. Well, Bron, thank you so much for joining us today. The time goes by so fast, as always. I've really enjoyed this. And again, my invitation is open. I'd love to.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let's see what questions come up, and then we can answer the questions, because that's the whole point, is to keep the conversation rolling.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you for being here. And this has been another episode of the Healthy Living Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Grumbine, and I want to thank our listeners for making the show possible. And we will see you next time. This has been another episode of the Healthy Living Podcast. We produce this show so that people can share their stories, people that have overcome obstacles, people that are undergoing obstacles. We're building a community of health-minded individuals. If you're interested in supporting the show, please leave a review on the platform you're listening to it on. If you're interested in becoming a guest, please send an email to itsjoegrumbine@gmail.com, or you can send a note into the notes section of the podcast. All right. Well, thank you for supporting this show, and we hope you've enjoyed it.